All right, let's talk about something that can completely change the game for you. It's a secret to success, but it has nothing to do with your natural talent. It's all about how you think. We're talking about the growth mindset. And trust me, this is a big one.
You know that feeling, right? You try something new. Maybe it's public speaking or coding or even just learning a new recipe, and you mess up. And that little voice pops into your head. Ugh, I'm just not good at this. We've all been there. But here's a wild idea. What if that's the real wall?
Okay, so let's get right into it. It really boils down to two completely different ways of looking at the world. First, you've got the fixed mindset. This is the idea that, your abilities are what they are. You're either good at something or you're not. And that makes you avoid challenges, right? Because if you fail, it just proves you're not good enough. But then there's the growth mindset. This is the complete opposite. It's the belief that you can actually develop your abilities. Challenges aren't scary. They're how you get better. And feedback? That's not criticism, that's just a free lesson.
Now, this is super important. A growth mindset doesn't mean you think you can just snap your fingers and become a brain surgeon overnight. It's not about being some kind of superhero. It's simply the belief that your skills and your intelligence can be developed, through effort, through learning, through just sticking with it. It's all about the potential to grow, not about being perfect right now.
And look, this isn't just some motivational poster fluff. This stuff really matters. When you adopt a growth mindset, you naturally become a better learner. You bounce back from setbacks way faster. You become more adaptable, more innovative. These are the skills you need to succeed today, right? Okay, so you're probably thinking, this sounds great, but how do I actually do it? Well, that's what we're going to get into. And the very first step is all about self-awareness. It starts with just understanding what's going on in your own head.
Think about it. You can't fix a problem if you don't even know it's there. So the first move is to basically become a detective of your own mind. Your job is to spot those moments when that fixed mindset voice creeps in and starts telling you what you can't do.
Here's a really simple way to start. Just think about the last time you faced a challenge or, failed at something. What did you immediately tell yourself? Was it something like, see, I knew I couldn't do it? Or was it more like, okay, that didn't work. What can I try next? Be super honest with yourself. Write those thoughts down. That's your clue. That's where we begin.
So, you might catch yourself thinking something like this. I'll never understand investing. See how final that sounds? It's like a full stop. It slams the door shut on any chance of learning. It's a wall. And the crazy part is, we're the ones who build it.
But now, check out the reframe. I'll start learning about investing step by step and improve over time. Wow, what a difference, right? This isn't about being an expert tomorrow. It's about the process. It's about taking one small step. That simple shift in language just turned a dead end into an open road.
All right, so you're starting to notice those fixed mindset thoughts. Awesome. That's a huge win. But now comes the fun part, taking action. Step 2 is where we move from just thinking differently to actually doing things differently.
And this is a really fundamental shift. People with a growth mindset don't run away from challenges, they run towards them. They get it. They understand that the place where you feel a little uncomfortable, a little stretched, that's where the magic happens. That's the growth zone. So let's make this super practical. What can you do this week? Pick one thing that's just a little bit outside your comfort zone. Maybe it's speaking up in a meeting or trying out that new software you've been avoiding. But here's the trick. Your goal isn't to be perfect. Nope. Your goal is just to learn. That's it. Think of it as an experiment. No pressure. Okay. So you're embracing challenges. The next big piece of the puzzle is feedback. Someone with a fixed mindset hears criticism and it feels like a personal attack. But someone with a growth mindset, they hear feedback and think, awesome, you just gave me a cheat sheet for how to get better. So try this next time someone gives you feedback. Your first instinct might be to get defensive, right? To explain why you did what you did. Just resist that urge. Instead, just listen. Ask questions to make sure you really get it. Like, hey, can you give me a specific example of what you mean? And then, here's the important part. Actually try one of their suggestions. That's how you turn something scary into a tool. And that brings us to our third and final step. And honestly, this one might be the most profound. This is about changing what you value deep down. It's about reprogramming what you consider a win.
It really all boils down to one single, incredibly powerful word. In a fixed mindset, the hero is always talent. But in a growth mindset, the hero of the story is effort.
And here's why that's such a game changer. You can't control if you win the big contract. You can't control if your project is a huge success. But you know what you can control 100% of the time? Your effort. When you start celebrating the hard work, the process, the sheer act of showing up and trying, that's how you build unstoppable persistence. You're rewarding the things that actually lead to success in the long run.
And you know what happens when you start valuing effort and the process of learning? Curiosity just naturally follows. It becomes the engine that drives you. You start asking why and how a lot more. The world just becomes a much more interesting place, full of puzzles to solve and things to figure out.
Okay, we've talked about what a growth mindset is, why it's so important, and the steps to build one. So let's wrap this all up into a simple, actionable plan that you can literally start right now.
So, what are the big takeaways? Let's run through them. First, believe that you can improve. That's the foundation. Then, catch those limiting thoughts and reframe them. Actively look for challenges, don't run from them. Treat feedback like a gift. Celebrate the effort, not just the win. And of course, never stop being curious.
But listening to this isn't enough. You have to make it real. So here's your challenge, a 30-day plan. Pick one, just one, skill you feel kind of stuck on. It could be anything. Getting better at small talk, learning an instrument, whatever. Write down a few small steps you can take to practice. And then, for the next month, just focus on tracking how much effort you put in. That's it. Focus on the process, not the outcome.
Look, the real magic of a growth mindset isn't in understanding the concept, it's in putting it into practice every single day. So I'll leave you with this question. What's that one wall you've built for yourself? That one thing you've always said, oh, I'm just not a blank person? Well, guess what? That's not a wall. It's a starting line. So when are you going to take the first step?